In the rugged tribal heartland of Tirah Valley, KPK, what began as a peaceful protest ended in bloodshed. Villagers had gathered to raise their voices against a recent mortar strike in the Ragzai village in Tank district. These weren't militants, these were locals. Tired of being caught in the crossfire of geopolitics, they took to the streets demanding justice. As the sun began to set over the mountains, gunfire erupted. Eyewitnesses claim it wasn't militants or terrorists who opened fire, it was the Pakistani army. Several protesters were shot dead, echoing haunting memories of Islamabad's November 26, 2024, crackdown when unarmed civilians were fired upon during pro-democracy demonstrations. A political storm was already brewing. Just days earlier, Ali Amin, KP's chief minister, had entered a public war of words with Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi. Their feud had escalated over the worsening security situation and Naqvi's centralized control over key decisions. Ali Amin accused the federal government of neglecting KP, while Naqvi labeled Ali Amin's rhetoric as irresponsible and politically driven. Tensions were high, but Ali Amin's criticism wasn't just political, it was personal. He had been directly instructed by Imran Khan to oppose any military operation in the province, and to also file an FIR against the drone strike that triggered the protest. Khan had long maintained an unflinching stance against US or domestic drone operations within Pakistan and also opposed military operations in the tribal region. During his tenure as Prime Minister, he had consistently condemned these attacks as extrajudicial killings and violations of sovereignty. His political opponents called it populism, but to his supporters it was patriotism. But instead of dialogue, the response was swift and brutal. Witnesses say that military units opened fire, dispersing the crowd with live ammunition. Blood stained the soil of a valley that had seen too much already. The government has since claimed that the situation was tense and that the military fired in self-defense, but locals reject that account, insisting the protest was entirely peaceful. As news of the killing spread, Ali Amin found himself cornered. On one hand, he was under pressure from Imran Khan's PTI loyalists to take action. On the other, he was locked in a bureaucratic and political struggle with the federal establishment, which appeared unwilling to concede fault. Soon, a settlement was made between the elders in Tirah and military commanders in Tirah over the shooting by the army on the people. Compensation money was announced not only by the army but also by the KPK government, showing how urgently this matter was silenced. Meanwhile, Mohsin Naqvi remained largely silent on the Tirah shootings, focusing instead on what he described as broader national security concerns. The silence was deafening. The political elite looked away. Mainstream media coverage was subdued, but on social media a storm raged. The events in Tirah have reignited painful memories from November 26, 2024, when security forces fired on unarmed protesters in Islamabad following a peaceful march demanding election transparency and political accountability. Videos from both Tirah and Islamabad show eerily similar scenes: civilians running, bullets flying, and no mercy. For many, this isn't about party politics anymore. It's about the growing militarization of civilian spaces, the erasure of dissent, and the normalization of violence against protest. Whether it's a city square or a mountain valley, the message seems to be the same. Dissent will be met with force. Tirah is not just a geographic location, it is now a symbol of how deeply divided, militarized, and traumatized Pakistan has become. Imran Khan, love him or hate him, had always opposed drone strikes. He had always maintained that the life of a single Pakistani citizen should not be collateral damage in anyone's war. Today, as the blood of innocent protesters dries in the dust of Tirah, Pakistan faces a choice. Will it continue down a path where voices are silenced by bullets, or will it rise to defend the dignity and rights of its people, regardless of politics? The shots fired in Tirah didn't just kill protesters. They shot a hole through the democratic promise of the country. It is the responsibility of KPK government to launch a thorough investigation and bring the criminals to justice.